Hi, Nancy Burt-Preece here, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today I have a really cute card cased from a design I found from Stamp with Jen, I think it was a year or two ago. It's a cute popsicle card and it opens like that. I left mine blank in the inside because you never know. I might use it as a birthday, but is that the cutest thing you've ever seen? I'm using the Arches die and I'll show you those. And I'm also using Splash and Relax bundle. So let me show you how you make this. So I started with a 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2 piece of Melon Mambo. And I used, I think it's the 5th largest. So it's, if you count down, 1, 2, 3, 3 from the top or from the bottom, but I did 3 from the top of the Arches die. And I already did this, but I'm going to show you how I did it. I put it in like this, with this just below the fold, and I ran it through a couple of times so that you get this. If it sticks, all you have to do is just bend it a little bit and it'll open right up. So that's the first thing I did. Then I took the next layer of the die and I cut out 2 white pieces, one for the outside, one for the inside. Then I took the absolute smallest one with pecan pie for our popsicle stick. Then I used some dies to cut out the flip-flops and the sunglasses, and I'm going to use some of that shimmery paper that comes with the new In Color paper, new In Color shimmer paper, and I'll get these out when it's time. Oh, I'm also using Sunset Sequins, if you choose. 3 stamps, Melon Mambo, Berry Burst, and Gorgeous Grape. I have a 1-inch punch and some blending brushes. So let me show you how I'm going to do the first thing. I'm going to make the popsicle background. And it's very, 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 very easy. So don't get all worried about it. It's so incredibly easy. I always start on scrap paper and then just come through. And you get to make it as dark or as light as you'd like it. I started with melon on the top. And then I went to Berry Burst next. And they're blending, so they should blend into each other. And you want that. Once again, you can make that as dark as you want. And then the last one I'm going to do is the Gorgeous Grape. Isn't that super easy? Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just easy. Now what I did, and then once we do that, we'll put that aside for a minute. The next thing I did is I wanted to use these In Color shimmer brushes. This one is the Barely Blush. I had to make sure I grab the right one. I'm going to open another one to show you how to open these new shimmer brushes. So first thing you do is you open it up, you can twist this, take this white piece off. You don't need to keep it. Some people do, but I do not. Twist it back in. Now I'm going to open it up and kind of move that brush. It gets a little hard from being in the factory. And then I'm going to push. This is the cantaloupe, so I don't kind of want that one. But you're waiting to see, look at that, it's coming up. Just keep pushing it till it comes through. You want to get it right up, and it'll come out on the brush. See how it's coming out? And you'll want to kind of test it a little bit first, get it all nice and flowing before you actually use it. Is that the coolest thing or what? So now I already have the Barely Blush working, so I don't have to do that priming. But what I'm going to do is push a little bit, make sure I got some on my brush. I wanted it a little bit pink, but not too pink. And then I'm just going to kind of flip it. Just with my cap, push a little and flip. You see it? It doesn't always go where you want it to. This is not an exact technique. I wanted to kind of be like a little bit of, you know, like condensation. So I'm going to let that sit for a minute. So that is the first thing. We'll let that sit. And you notice this isn't perfect, and it doesn't have to be. It's a fun popsicle. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my envelope and make sure when I put my stick part on, I don't go too far so I can't get it in the envelope. So I'm going to just with my finger, see how I made just a little bit of a mark? I can't put any adhesive farther than that. Let's see, I did great. I'm going to come back through in the middle, and I can kind of line that up. I got that mark now, and put it right there. In a minute, I'll put this on top. I can go ahead, if I wanted to stamp stuff, I would have some things at a class, of course. If you want to put happy birthday, I have some other little cute sayings you can put on the inside. Sometimes I like to keep mine blank so I can use it for lots of different things, because you just never know. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is make my little saying, which I love, fun in the sun. I'm going to use Melon Mambo. I have a piece of scrap here. My scrap is, about an 1.5 inches. I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. Oops, I didn't stamp it very good. That's much better. And I am going to hold my punch upside down so I can line it up and punch. So there's our fun in the sun. Let's see, is this relatively, it dries pretty quick. I don't think I'm getting too much. Of course, I got so much junk on my fingers. It's really hard to tell, but I think it's good. So we're going to go ahead and adhere this on the top. Our multicolored popsicle. Isn't that cute? I'm going to go ahead and pop this up with a dimensional. Just seemed like a fun thing to pop up. You have your popsicle, your sunglasses, you've got your flip-flops. It's perfect in the sun. My flip-flop bottom part, I'm just going to adhere. You can either use glue or, and I'll have a couple of different, at my class, I'll have a couple of different colors of flip-flops. You just never know what your favorite color might be. Now for the flip-flop part, I don't know if that's the flip or the flop part, but anyway, I went ahead and made these stickers so you can just peel that off. Let me show you this one. There we go. Sunglasses, I'm going to put a little glue on the back and adhere those. If you come to my class, I will have the sunglasses cut out, But I will probably have you cut out your own lenses because that makes life a lot easier, let me tell you, because these can drive you nuts. They'll get all over the place. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I found that I liked them with the kind of the bigger part on the top. So let's see. I like to make sure they kind of match like that. See how they're kind of the bigger part on the top? However, if you do it the other way, that's fine too. As long as they both match, it doesn't make a difference. Nobody is going to know. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. Move it over. That's why I'm using a little liquid glue, because I got that one a little crooked. And then I'm going to make sure I have it that flat part on the top. Always have to make sure I got it right. It's a very small amount of flatness on the top there. Then the last little bit, I'm going to put a couple of little cute sequins on there. And we've got our very cute popsicle cards, Fun in the Sun. Made your own tropical popsicles. I hope you enjoy this and try this for yourself and have a great day.